Hey guys, it's Tuesday the 24th of March 2020. The time right now is about 10 to 3 and yeah, we're just at the front entrance of the property. We wanted to do a farm tour today because we've got a lot of people messaging us saying that they're bored and that we need to release a new video. So I thought we'd just give like a little bit of a farm tour and show how spring is happening. The front gate at the moment is a bit of a mess. Basically what we're trying to do is widen it. So we have a removable pole in the middle, a little gate on this side, a gate on this side, and when bigger vans and camper vans and stuff want to come through, we can just take this pole out and then they have better access. Okay, so spring has sprung 4 days ago, in fact. Yeah, spring started in the northern hemisphere on the 20th, and you can see all of the leaves are coming out nicely. This is a beautiful fig tree that we have along the front wall. It's got quite a lot of fruit on already. That's starting, and I think in summertime this is going to provide some good shade and keep the area nice and cool. We've got some really pretty flowers. I mean, these purple ones are amazing. So along this side over here we have like another wall, and there's a couple of fruit trees. There's two loquat trees, a lemon tree and an almond, and then we have some kind of nondescript fruit trees here. I'm not sure exactly what they are, and we have a beautiful big cherry tree. Okay, so along this wall we've got like trellising and a whole bunch of vines. Most of the vines have actually woken up. You can see that there's leaves on these vines. Some of them haven't quite woken up yet, and I'm not sure if they're still viable or if maybe there's something wrong with them. We have a lovely almond tree here. It's even got some like little almond nuts starting on it, and it looks like it's in very healthy, good condition. We have another almond tree just on the front wall there. This lemon tree is actually looking quite sad. I don't know, you can see that it's kind of dry and brittle. There's no moisture going through here, so a lot of it is dead. The leaves are going yellow, and it's not happy at all. There is some new growth happening where it's got new leaves coming up, but I think it's too little too late. I think what's probably happened is this tree's been waterlogged, and a lot of these trees along this line are showing damage from being waterlogged. So this is the loquat tree. We got two of them next to each other here, and it's showing what looks like burning or fire damage, but actually I think it's a type of fungus. I'm not sure exactly. Also, another interesting thing is there's two nails that have been hammered in here, and I do know from the past that when plants are short of iron, or a tree is short of iron, you hammer an iron nail in and that'll actually give the tree some iron. So I'm not sure if that's what this was all about, but this tree is showing signs of this, and the one over here. So potentially these two loquat trees either were burnt or they've got some kind of a fungus. And yeah, this loquat tree's got some fruit starting, so you can see a lot of the fruit. There's some of the old fruit that's still attached, and then some of the new fruit starting. But this one looks a little bit healthier, albeit with that black stuff on the trunk. And then we've got a whole bunch more vines over here. These weren't pruned. I was hoping to leave them quite long so that we can get a lot of vegetation growing along this wall. The more sort of shaded areas and the more greenery will hopefully help keep this place cooler in the summer. So these trees here, I'm not sure what type of fruit trees these are, but you can see the leaves are just starting to appear. It's got quite a big trunk. I don't really recognize the bark. Well, actually wait, here's some fruit. I'm not sure what that is even. That was an apple. I think that's an apple. Yeah, okay, so this is a big old apple tree. Then just next to it we have a really big cherry tree, but this one's taken quite a bit of damage. It's got lots of blossoms, but this area is an area which floods quite badly in winter. So as you can see in this trunk, it's really suffered. It also looks like it's being eaten by termites or something like that. Yeah, in fact you can see the ants there burrowing out the tree and eating the wood. What a shame. So our vineyard is looking quite good. All of the vines have got leaves appearing, and yeah, it's been ploughed and trimmed, so hopefully we'll get a nice amount of grapes this year. So we're at the top, we're at the sort of top end of the dam, and we've got a fig tree. We've got another fig tree down there, so we have two fig trees on this side. and there's like a row of vines, very old vines, and we also have some blackberry. So we've got some interesting stuff trying to grow through here. So along the dam we've got a lot of this stuff. This is, I believe this is called Geste. So we got lots of this. We actually took a whole bunch of it out. I believe it grows here like a bit of a weed, so it will come back. And then on this end of the dam we've got another 2 fig trees. So we've got 2 on this end, 2 on the other end. We have a fig tree on the other end of the vineyard over there, and we have another fig tree at the very front wall. So we've got 6 fig trees in total. Actually we've got 7 fig trees because there's a huge one in our olive orchard. On this side we have our vineyard. Obviously the house is behind us, and then we have our fruit orchard area. The fruit orchard area has a bunch of different trees in it. We have a pomegranate tree which is just over here. All of the leaves are out, but I don't see any fruit happening. We have another big loquat tree. As you can see, this one's quite tall. I mean, I'm only up to here, so it's a big old tree this. We planted one of our avo trees here. We've got 2 avo trees, and I thought I'd put one in the ground. Avos are quite susceptible to wind, and obviously we have quite a lot of wind here, and this is in the open. So I've put this into the ground, and we'll see how it fares. So far it looks okay. And then on this side over here we've got another tree. I have no idea what it is. It's only starting to show some of its leaves now, so it is still alive. This one over here I believe is nuts. I'm not sure what type of nuts, but that's kind of like the flower or fruit that's happening on it. So I think that's probably nuts of some sort. Over here we have a lemon tree. It looks like it's either getting new leaves in it, or it might be getting some buds, some flower buds. As you can see, we put this into the ground, I don't know, about a month ago, and it seems to be doing very well. It's got a lot of new leaves growing on it, and if you look over here it even has some flowers appearing. Now those flowers, if pollinated, will turn into fruit, which is quite surprising because fruit trees usually take 3 to 5 years before they start producing fruit. So maybe it won't fruit, maybe it will, we'll see. We also have a big nectarine tree over here. It's like a small orange citrus fruit, and this tree took quite a lot of damage in Storm Elsa. You can see a lot of the leaves are missing, but it does have a lot of new growth coming out, so it is repairing itself, and it's also covered in tiny little blossoms. So these flowers should open soon, and when they do, this whole tree is just going to be covered in a lovely orange blossom, and hopefully that's going to translate into lots of nectarines, because I do love nectarines and I eat tons of them. Okay, so this is our persimmon tree, or Sharon fruit. All the leaves have come out nicely. I think there's probably going to be a couple more leaves than that. A lovely green color. And then on this side we have the orange tree. This also took a lot of damage. The side that's nearer to the house is missing most of its leaves, but a lot of new leaves are coming out now, and you can see that it's covered in white orange blossoms. So let's take a couple of these off so you can see. It's going to be covered in a whole bunch of like little flowers, and hopefully soon the insects are going to come and pollinate these, and they're going to turn into more fruit. On this side of the house we've got this long pergola. We have a whole bunch of vines growing on it. So we've got like this one here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we've got 6 big vines growing on it. Hopefully they're going to provide a nice amount of shade. And we've got this pomegranate tree over here. And we have a couple of rose bushes. We have a rosemary bush, which is growing on the inside. We do have some mint plants on the ground. But anyway, this is all a big mess. At some point we're going to sort this all out. We've planted our mango tree over here, so they can be close to the house so we can look after it in winter. Another rose bush. And on the very end here, we've got the kiwi and the granadilla, which are coming out nicely. You can see this lovely growth happening. It's a beautiful velvety plant. So hopefully this is going to grow all along this pergola, and the same with this granadilla plant. And then again, just to give us some more shade, we've got these really big vines, and they're going to grow all across this pergola over here, and hopefully provide some good shade so this water doesn't all evaporate. I think what we keep hearing about this place is how hot it's going to get in the summertime, and for us to have as much shade on these areas as possible is going to be key.
The lesser spotted boykie staring at the lamp.
So this over here is a pot with some of Gina's tomatoes in, and they're looking really healthy. We have our other avocado tree here. This one I think we're going to put into a pot, and we'll see what happens. Perhaps the one that's out in the field is going to get way too much wind and die, and then obviously we have a fallback one. So, and then just next to it we have a raspberry bush, and we're still not sure where we want to put that. Hey boys. Right, so this is our olive grove area, and it goes all the way down and meets up with our bottom field. Our olive trees are in need of a pruning, but we don't actually know how to prune them. I have looked online on Google and on YouTube, and yeah, sure, people have given us ideas, but our next door neighbor farmer, he's actually going to show us how to do it at some point. I think this whole coronavirus has probably put a bit of a damper on that, but I'm sure it will happen at some point. In the time being, we have a lot of fruit appearing on these trees already. So it's a bit tricky to see, it's a bit tricky to focus, but you can see in between these leaves there's a whole bunch of fruit starting on these plants. You can see this over here is a absolutely huge fig tree. So this will be our 7th fig tree on the property. It's got quite a lot of fruit on it starting already, and beautiful leaves. It's a massive trunk, absolutely huge. I can imagine the reason why they pruned this was probably because it was so big that it was shading out all these olives. But this is going to be a lovely tree in the summertime. So we've created a road, or shall I say our next door neighbour, who's the farmer with his tractor, has created a road on this side. And this road basically joins up with where we park our cars and to the front entrance. And this road is going to go all the way down to the bottom field. At the moment the soil is quite soft and we're going to need to drive over it a few times, but we've had some rain and I don't really want to get stuck. But yeah, this is a new road going down. I'm not sure if we're going to keep it here or if we're maybe going to move the road further across to the perimeter here, because I do feel that this road is possibly a little bit too close to these olive trees. Here we've got 3 fruit trees. They all have the exact same blossoms, really pretty little flowers. I'm not sure what they are. Time will tell. It could possibly be pear or apple. I'm not entirely sure. But we've got 3 of them. We have one here, one over there, and another one which is quite big, just over there. And then we have a fantastic looking apricot tree. I recognize the blossoms on this one. Not the blossoms, but the leaves. As you can see, it's quite big as well. I mean, look how tall it is. And yep, it's got some apricots starting. Lovely. Look at that. So we're in our bottom field area here, and as you can see the grass is really long. And look how tall these are. It's all the way up to here. This is the hay, which is going to be for Joaquin the farmer. It's going to be for his sheep. So we've got to grow this nice and tall for him. We have another little orchard here of olives, and some of these trees are enormous. We've got a really big one just in the bottom corner over there, and you know, a bunch of pretty big sized ones here. So this over here is called a quince, which is it looks like an apple, but it's quite fuzzy. It's got a fuzzy skin, and they use it in marmalade, so it's quite a bitter fruit. But it's got the most amazing little blossoms on it. It's so pretty, and very velvety leaves. It's probably one of our most pretty fruit trees that we have on the farm. So this is our biggest olive tree. As you can see, it's an absolutely huge olive. I can only imagine that this tree must be a couple of centuries old. Beautiful, beautiful tree. It's one of my favorites. We've got another old one just next to it. Looks like it's had a lot of pruning done to it just because of rot and damage. But again, this is a nice big tree here, you know. I'm not actually trying to hug the tree because I enjoy hugging trees. I'm trying to give you an idea of the size.
Nothing wrong with a tree hugger.
So we have a couple more olives. Now this bottom field has a bit of a standing water problem, so when it rains, if it rains enough, the water will sort of pool up here, and I believe this is what's causing a problem for these olives down here. I think you'll probably find that this field was a big olive orchard, and most of them have died or rotted. So now we're going to head on up to the vegetable patch, and Gina's going to run you through all the stuff that she's done there. So yeah, so just on our way up to this vegetable patch, I've noticed that we have another fruit tree here. I have no idea what it is. It's got some kind of like, I don't know, like a pink blossom, but other than that it looks quite dormant. Mm-mm. So this stuff over here I believe is called zest. Zest. Oh, it actually does smell quite nice. It almost grows like a weed here. I don't know if that actually is zest, because I know this one is. They're growing next to each other. This one's covered in flowers and this one isn't, so I don't know. Could be male, female plant. You can see a whole bunch of them are in bloom at the moment. Quite pretty.
This is the soundtrack to our isolation. I think the crickets are louder up here anyway.
So yeah, we're just going up our new road, and this takes us up to the house and where our vegetable patch is. So we've got this over here, which we haven't used yet. This is our irrigation system. You can attach a hose to this. It's got a filter. Or this one over here is runs the irrigation pipes. Look at the pressure. I believe this is all from the well down there. Possibly it could, yeah, no, it must be the well down there, because the pump isn't on the other one down there. So yeah, it's pretty good. This is how we can wash the dog. So you guys have probably seen our veggie patch that we made from one of our other videos. It's quite big. I believe it's 11 meters by 10 meters. Each of the walkway strips are 50 centimeters wide, and the beds are just over a meter each and 10 meters long, so it's quite a lot of space.
You ready?
Yeah.
So we have nothing in these rows so far. Thinking sweet potato, butternut and normal potatoes might go in there at some point. We have a container full of cucumbers because they don't seem to like this soil very much, so we're thinking we can just keep them in compost, then they might grow a bit better, and they're still alive, which is a bonus. If they were in the ground they'd be dead by now. And then everything. Messick, off!
Oi, Massac,
Off!
come here. Come here. Lie down. Down. Good boy. Yeah, the dog's walking all over the veggies.
Right, so I did put some more cucumbers in here just to see, and as you can tell they don't look as healthy as the ones that are just in the compost.
No.
And then here we've got, I think they're peppers, I'm not very good at labelling things.
Those do look like peppers, yeah.
I like the surprise. So I'm sure that's not the way you should garden, but hey ho. And then if we cross over with Jonathan Edwards, only the old ones if you're going to get that reference. Tomato plants, these were plug plants that we bought, and then these tomato plants are ones that I done from seedlings. Do you know, since we've moved to Portugal, neither me or Ken can speak proper English anymore.
Yeah.
These are tomato seedlings that I cultivated, and there's some peppers in between because I got confused.
Okay.
And then a bit further along.
So the tomatoes go all the way along
to here.
Yeah.
And then here is carrots. Again, they're ones that I did from seed. And I made long holes, so hopefully we get straight carrots.
Yeah, the problem with carrots is when it's growing, it's long taproot. As soon as it hits a stone, it starts to turn. And we've obviously got a lot of stones in our soil, and then you end up with these twisted carrots.
And then we have broccoli, and then unhappy broccoli in the middle.
That one has been unhappy since we planted it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think these are the artisanal broccoli. They're the ones that look like a crown.
Okay.
With like a bubble on. And then we have lettuce. I think that's iceberg lettuce, and then loose leaf lettuce, which seems to be doing all right. And then if we go up the next one, up here, so this is all broccoli.
Okay.
Broccoli's up here.
So we're going to be eating lots of broccoli.
They weren't very happy to start with,
No.
but they seem to have perked up a lot.
They're looking very good now, yeah.
Yeah, I think when we planted them it was really hot. It was like 22, 24 degrees. And I think because they were new plug plants they didn't like the heat, but now they're much better.
Yeah.
And then if we go over again, so we have a very unhappy courgette. Courgettes and cucumbers just don't like this soil for some reason. Maybe the pH, don't know. Do I sound like I know what I'm talking about? And then we have peppers. They're all looking happy.
They've been peppered all over the place.
And then these ones here are extra cucumbers that I brought up from seed just to try.
Okay.
Another one. So they're all right, but this one and this one's already died.
Yeah.
So
these were the courgettes. So there's
no, that was a cucumber. That was a new cucumber. So I don't know whether they're being eaten by something up this end.
No, it's the soil.
Yeah.
You know, some things are going to be very happy in the soil, and on the other opposite end of the spectrum, some things aren't.
Up here we have onions, 2 rows of onions. In the middle of that we have potatoes. I think, I'm not convinced.
That's a potato, yes.
That's a potato.
It is a potato, I recognise it.
But it's only one.
Okay, yeah, but that's okay.
And I haven't seen, but I won't pull up. I have been weeding, like I'm not, so I don't know what these are. So sometimes I pull them up, sometimes I don't.
Okay. And these onions are actually looking a lot better than when we first put them in the ground.
Yeah, I mean some have lost the will to live over there.
Yeah, but such
And then the other row is garlic.
Okay, so this row over here is all garlics. And
some of them are garlics that I've propagated, and some are garlics that we bought from the shop.
Yes.
And then there's another row, 2 rows of potatoes behind that.
Okay. So down here we've got a zigzag row of potato.
None of those are
along the centre.
Yet. And then we didn't realise until after we'd done these 2 beds that we should have raked it like this, so that's why these ones look all bobbly.
Yeah.
And we finally sorted out the path problem, and I buried it in the ground so now it doesn't blow away.
Yeah. It's now a path, so we're quite well.
Because it was never windy here until Ken said I like living somewhere that's not windy, and ever since he said that it's windy. Oh look, that's getting new.
Yeah. It's a camellia. It's got a beautiful red flower.
And then we've got a aloe vera.
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera. Down there we've got a masac growing on the floor. In here we've got watermelon.
Watermelon, wow.
And we were told the best place to plant them would be under the fig tree.
Yeah.
Because they will use the fig tree to support with their growth. In here we've got some more tomatoes. some asparagus. I don't really know what to do with them. I probably need to plant some more, and then some peppers that are really slow to germinate. And then in here, because I'm really bad at labelling things up, we have tomatoes, carrots, peppers, more asparagus.
We will be able to see
And,
once
yeah.
that's started.
But yeah, it's a bit of a magical mystery for that one. And then we have mint, two different types of mint. Some more lettuce. I'm using all sorts of trays because we didn't bring any pots with us, so that's my...
We used to have beautiful pots in England. These stunning ceramic pots, but we never bought them.
lettuces that we're already harvesting from, so you just take a few leaves off at a time and then we can just keep going with that. So Ken doesn't even know that we ate our first leaves yesterday in the salad we had.
Nice.
And then in here we've got granadillo. So I've put matchsticks where the granadillos are. We've got a tiny one there, I think.
Okay.
And then a bigger one there. And then in the space now, because the rest just aren't coming up, I've put butternut seeds.
Okay. And where do we get the granadillo seeds from?
Sergio.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Sergio.
We need some more because we obviously didn't do them very well.
No. Wow.
Learning curve.
It is.
And then round the corner, again in my little mate greenhouse, I have an avo pip that I planted today. So it's not going to have done anything because I planted it today.
Yeah.
And that's in a tomato pot.
Cool. Well, the thing about avos is when you plant them from seed like this, it'll take 10 to 15 years before you can get fruit. But that's okay.
I'm sure I've got 10 to 15 years to go.
Exactly.
And that's it for my seedlings. So we'll just keep going and we'll just keep repotting up things as they die or as we eat them, just so we can try and keep things going. And it's a learning curve. We're learning.
So in our chicken house, I built this hideous thing. Basically, our yurt was delivered on a pallet, and it should have been on 2 pallets, and I had this chipboard supporting some parts of it, and it came in these 2 big chipboards. So I decided that I was going to build a little nesting box out of it. I didn't have like the right tools or anything, so it's very rough cut. But now we've got space for different birds to lay at the same time, and yeah, it's ugly, but it should do the job.
So we have a little chick hatching, and you can see its little beak. It's poking through.
Yeah.
And we only noticed this morning. There's only one so far.
Yeah. And I've set up a camera here for time lapse. So hopefully we're going to get a time lapse out of it. And actually, before I forget, we've set up this little area for the chicks. We've got a little water bottle, we've got a feeding dish, and that big square yellow thing is like it's like an incubator. It's where the chickens can crawl under, or the chicks, sorry, and it keeps them nice and warm. Oh, look at this little dog. Hello, dog. Hello. Are you a loyal dog? Loyal to the queen? Oh no, he's loyal to the queen. He's not loyal to the king. There we go, he's going to the queen. Right, so we have a beautiful evening. And this is the end of it, really. It's the end of the tour. I know everyone's sitting at home, and when I say home, I'm actually talking about South Africa and England. And you've all got this coronavirus lockdown, and you wanted a new episode, so here it is. Look at this. It's a good episode, guys. In our spare room over here. Excuse the mess. Once again, I'm going to say this is a spare room, and we literally threw everything in here. We have a camera doing time lapse on the eggs. What are the eggs doing? Oh, okay. Okay, so that egg has a little bit more going on. Okay, in all honesty, these eggs weren't supposed to hatch until tomorrow, basically, and only one of them has been cracked through, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get this on a time lapse, because I've already done 5 hours and 31 minutes, and I'm not sure how much more memory this camera has. But if I do, awesome. For now, I think we just say goodnight, then I can get an episode out. We haven't had another episode out in a while, and you guys stay safe. Stay safe, and I hope you guys are quarantining and staying away from this coronavirus.